It seems I'm missing something here. Hey everyone, Soundwave8084 here with another Transformers Earthrise review. And in this review, take a look at Voyager class Starscream. I just got this in yesterday evening from Hasbro Pulse. And we'll take a quick look at the box. Why not? There's a box inside. Sure. Box art. And again, I do like the box art. Not as dynamic as some of the other ones, but it's still kind of cool. And it shows some dreaded Autobots floating about in space. Can't really make them out too far away. Back of the box, 30 steps get you from here to here. And he's holding Smash down? Okay. And your obligatory Galvatron on the top of the box. Woohoo! Off we go. And here is Starscream in his jet mode. I'm starting this video off a little bit differently. Instead of having him in his robot mode, which is the way he comes packaged, I have him in his alt mode, his jet mode. And you can see why I'm disappointed in my Starscream. He's missing something. Yes. Hasbro, please get better quality control. He came missing the front part of his cockpit. So, yeah. I'm very disappointed. They're closed to contact by phone, but I will contact them and I'll get this rectified. But if I can just imagine that piece there, I think this would make a glorious jet mode. I think it's really, really good. So I'll put that right here, and we'll compare him with the old Classics version. Now, not the first Classics version, the second version that came out, where they shouldn't have had more of a G1 color scheme going on, not the added yellows and stuff. I think, it's this one here has been called the upscaled version of this. And they are very similar. They do have some similar transformation schemes going on, and they are very similar toys, but the Voyager Earthrise, I think, does some things a lot better, and there's some things this Classics Generations chuggy version does better than the new Earthrise. And in jet mode, they both look really good. And when I got the Siege figures, the Siege Seekers, I'd already said to myself I was going to keep these guys because they have perfect and beautiful jet modes. Now, things that the old chuggy version does better than Earthrise in the jet mode is that it actually has landing gears. Nothing in the front here, but it does have these that you can fold out to form them on the side, and they have some molded in wheels back here on the back of the feet. But since the Earthrise transforms differently in the feet, they couldn't do this part here, and they did not add that here, which is, I think, is a bit of a shame that there's nothing here, but the feet on here actually fold the other way. So that's kind of missed, but it's not a deal breaker. And I'm sure if they even, had landing gears, the wheels, like on this one, wouldn't even roll. They just sort of prop your figure off the ground ever so slightly. Also, the blues on the Earthrise are more in line with the G1 cartoon, more of a lighter blue, whereas the old chuggy version is a darker blue, almost to a purple, and that's more in line with the original G1 toy. Still, both jet modes are excellent jet modes. You couldn't go wrong with either one. Have them in jet mode. I'm not going to compare his jet mode with the Power of the Primes crap, but we will compare robot modes. So just looking at this bad boy right here in jet mode, it is very nice. Details are plenty, almost like a mini masterpiece in detail. Flip him around. I mean, he's always going to have that robot look underside where it's just, he just kind of folds his head away and tucks his arms in. That's something I don't think you're going to ever get away from on Starscream or any of the Seekers. But I do prefer this back end. I like that a lot. Just missing the piece there. Such a shame. Well, I guess I'll go ahead and transform this guy in the reverse. Why not? So first thing we're going to do is just take these cannons off. And I see I untab the wing here. And they just tab in with these little catches and tabs. And you just like the old Classics version, this untabs the same way. And you can now bring these up out of the way. Like so. That's how they're going to sit. Next thing I'm going to do is fold these pieces in, or up. Come here, lift this waist skirt. Pull up the legs. It tabs in back here. So we're going to untab that. Straighten them down. See these little blue tabs? Go in these little slots here in the middle. Just bring them down. Fold them in. See the legs tab together. Front of the foot now folds up. The back heel spur will come up when you do the tail fin. So you want to ankle tilt him in. You see there's a tab here. Just came out of that slot. Now we just bring that down. And that brings up the heel spur. So we want to ankle tilt in and then bring that around. Come back up here. You now can close his skirt. Bring the camera on up. This here, you see these little catches around the sides. This back part here will open up. I find it easier just to take my thumbnail and just kind of pop these forward. And then I can bring this back. Just like the chuggy version, arms are folded in, bring these out to the side. And I'm going to bring them up because when we close this back, I want these pieces in so they lock in right here. Come up to this. This untabs from here. This part here will now untab from that. Find his beautiful head. Bring this down like the chuggies. Spin it. Collapse it in. Now you want to bring this back up, and you want these are going to catch back up around this, and you want these to stay tucked under his chest so his arms will lock into place. Like that. Come around to this back piece here. We're going to bring this back. They have molded in this little gap so you can collapse this down further. Push that down. Come around to the front. Now it's just a matter of doing his arms. Right here opens up. This piece here comes off. You can see right here to bring it up, there's this little gray piece, the blue piece. They will now meet. You want to fold this back down over it, and then bring his hand down. Then you have his arm done. Same on the other side. Open this up. Come on, I said open up. You're not working with me, man. I have a hard time on this arm for some reason. Bring it down. Close it in. And you're done with Starscream. Get him into his robot mode. Now we just got to take his null rays and stick them back on. Oh. And it's a beautiful, beautiful robot mode. And we'll do some quick comparisons in a minute. We're going to take a look at some of the details on this figure. Molded in details here for the feet, legs, paint on my copy is applied nicely. Come out to here. Head sculpt I really do like. It's almost like a mini masterpiece type, style head sculpt. Paint on it is lovely. The eyes are sort of just hidden in there. They're red, but I mean, I kind of like the light piping we got on these dudes, because you can get the light just right. The eyes just glowed. But turn around, you really only slightly hollow or gappiness is right here, but there's still a chest piece in there, but it's just a little bit on the side. It's kind of unsightly, and you have a bit on the underside of the hand here. Otherwise, he's not hollow at all. Everything else is pretty much solid plastic. Oh, solid looking plastic. Coming around. The wings are articulated here, so you don't have to keep them straight. You can pull them back so you can get a little more movement around on the sides there. Alright, articulation on Starscream. He is missing some, which is also, I guess, a disappointment. He has no waist articulation, which you can tell by looking at the figure. Neither did the old chuggy version. And he also has no wrist swivels, which I guess is not really missed. But it is something nice to have. Now, we do get ankle tilts, which you saw, which you kind of do for transformation to there. You can move this skirt up so you can get a good front kick. Back kick gets in the way because all this stuff back here in the back. So you don't get much out to there. Move his arms up. You can get sides to there. I'm not going to force anymore. And you get knee bends at a 90. Now, I suggest holding his knee pads, because if you just grab him by down here at the shins and you want to do his knees. So, it's not going to do it now, of course, I'm telling you about it. There you go. This one, untab. And this kind of untabs from the knee tab there. Head is on a ball, but it's kind of high. It almost looks like he's got a neck, so he gets a decent down. He gets an up. And of course you can 360 it all the way around. Shoulders go out to there. And you can 360 them because the wings will clear you. Then you just put them back. He's got upper bicep swivels. They're awfully tight. And he's got a little elbow bends to there. So that's the articulation on your Earthrise Starscream. Details, everything on the figures. Nice paint applied, lovely. One of the best looking Starscream figures to date. And bringing in the Siege version, which is slightly taller. But I think it's a good Cybertronian form to a good Earth form. And again, I think you could leave this one in the jet mode if you have the full piece on the cockpit. And if you like this Starscream here, you can leave him in robot mode. Because this one here has more articulation. He's got a waist swivel, he's got wrist swivel, so you can get more out of him. Now, one thing about him is he's got piss poor ankle tilts. They're very tight and not much. And he also looks, he's got his high heels on for the night out in town. This one has better feet, better ankle tilts, but less articulation when it comes to their waist swivels. I do like his head sculpt better. You know, he doesn't have a smirk. This one here takes care of the smirk, but I still like this head sculpt a little bit better. Side view. Back view. Not bad. From the front, you kind of got this kind of, it's not really hollow, but you just, the details, it looks kind of, yeah. This is a lot better on the Earthrise. Now let's bring in Power of the Crap Starscream. Much taller, as most Voyagers back then were just all almost sort of made to the same scaling, but now they're actually scaled to each other. This figure is just a Voyager scaled figure, but he looks like he's been eating his spinach energon, or his energon spinach. And he's got them big ass forearms like Popeye. Starscream the Sailor Man. And of course he's wearing his mama's boots because they are humongous. His proportions are just way off. But overall, if you have Power of the Primes, just get rid of it. Just throw it away or something. And the back, of course, is waffly. Got his Belgians going on. Just get rid of this one. Get out of here. Get out of town. And now we'll compare him with the old Chuggy version, which this one sort of emulates in certain ways. Now, there's things that this guy does better in robot mode. Well, I would say in transformation. And there's things this guy did better in transformation. Now, just overall comparisons of the figures. Very similar to how they look. My Chuggy version is very, very loose on his joints. The wings constantly want to flop backward. His legs are very loose. Arms flop around. So the thing is, like, his arms lock into place with his chest. These did not. Hands folded in. No waist swivel either. No wrist swivels. He had no ankle tilts. You get ankle tilts on this guy. Oh, good lord. He's too loose. Head sculpt, better on the Earthrise, I think, than this one here. And the head articulation, much better on this. His head is actually attached to this piece. So you can turn his head left and right with this. And that's all you're going to get is up, down, nothing. It's just attached. Now, one thing I think these figures did better in transformation, his little vents up here by his head are part of his torso. So the whole thing comes forward. So we don't get that gappy look right there that we do get in the Earthrise. Whereas the vents here are attached to the back part, and only the, this goes backwards and this stuff stays in the front. I just kind of wish that was all one piece and kind of did what Chuggy version did and went that way. And comparing him with Siege Megatron, because they do have an Earthrise Megatron coming out. But I think a lot of people are just going to hang on to the Siege. And next to Earthrise Optimus Prime. And next to a Deluxe Class Refractor. And next to a Deluxe Class Ironhide. Alright, so final thoughts on Earthrise Starscream. A beautiful robot mode, a beautiful jet mode. My copy is just ruined by missing a piece that I'll hope to rectify that problem later. And your copy may vary. Most people I've seen online have not been complaining about missing that piece. So feel safe to pick your own up at the store. And in the package, you can actually see this back part. Just look for some orange poking through those little holes there. But like I said, beautiful detail sculpt. I'm a little disappointed he also has no waist articulation. I kind of would prefer to have some kind of waist movement. I feel that that's something they missed. I think trying to be too much like the old Chuggy version, I think kind of hurt it slightly in what they were going to do with it. I think if they just tried with a whole new mold, they could maybe engineer it in as kind of waist articulation. Like I said, overall, the colors, the paint, all that is beautiful on the figure. Now, him versus the Siege, I think overall I prefer the look of the Earthrise Starscream because that is more in line with G1 and what I remember. Nostalgia factor there kicks in. The Siege version, I think, is the more overall impressive figure when it comes to articulation. But overall, Starscream figure, Earthrise, wins out. I want to say thanks for watching this review. Until the next one, peace out.